Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hampshire Business Show, and I am doing something funny and special today. My guest Nicole LeGuern is joining me. Well, again, not joining me. We're just kind of rolling from the last one, and we are going to do a short interview of the show. So, kind of switching seats, and it's kind of funny. She's the first guest to want to do this, so let's get started.
Sounds great.
Thank you for joining me again.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, let's get started.
Okay, well, I'm sure you sit here and you interview all these people, but maybe now it's your turn to be interviewed. So, let me ask you some questions.
Yeah.
So how did you start doing this?
Okay. Well, when I got out of the Army, I decided I was going to get into car sales. And so I'd been selling cars, and then I realized I couldn't find a good non-shady car dealership. So I got out of car sales. And I started working for a gym, doing like CrossFit sales and stuff.
Cool.
And then the gym owner sold his gym and didn't pay me a dime for anything I sold. So I got out of gym sales because I couldn't find a good gym to work for. And then I was like, you know what? If no one's going to pay me, I'm just going to pay myself. And I got into this because while I'd been in the gym, I decided that interviewing guests and talking to people is actually a good way to build reputation. So I sit there and I'm like, okay, I can interview people, and just by interviewing each other, we kind of we cross our audiences a little bit. So people that follow you would be introduced to me and vice versa. It's pretty common for podcasters to do that. And in the process, I realized I actually really like talking to people. So I was reading the book, The One Thing, which is over there on the wall as well.
Nice.
And
do you recommend it?
Oh, it's a fantastic book.
Check it out.
Oh, everything I have up there is phenomenal. And I have some more books too if you ever want recommendations.
Oh, cool.
I read like a book a week, but we can get into that in a minute.
Oh, that's good.
So, what's he saying?
Podcast?
Yeah. So here I am building reputations, and I'm reading The One Thing, and it says build a career around what you enjoy doing. And I realized I like talking to people. It's easy. I'm super introverted, which people will find odd. But in a very controlled environment like this, I actually quite enjoy sitting down and talking to people, and it's easy.
Gotcha.
So then, and it's also a great way for me to just learn. I learned so much sitting and talking to people, and learn about different industries and different ways of running businesses and different approaches, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So it's kind of my selfish, I want to learn kick that I'm always on. Because I, very early on, kind of a different story, but someone told me that I was kind of average. I wasn't horribly intelligent. This was someone from my old school, like a teacher. Yeah. And they said, you're kind of, so they were glad I picked the college I went to because it fits someone like me who needs someone that's not as hard, generally speaking. Yeah. And from that point forward, I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah,
so
that's awful.
I can't do the non-intelligent thing. So I'm constantly trying to learn.
Yeah.
That's why I read so much. That's why I don't really care for traditional academics, because I think it's limited in what they actually teach you, and I want to learn more. So
that's awesome.
That's kind of how I got spun up on this, and then over time, it kind of grew from me having my little tripods here and a couple of cameras on them to kind of a setup more like this, to soon, hopefully, having a much more professional setup with better cameras and better lighting and a more professional feel to it. So kind of, that's like a little history of the show. That's
awesome. I love that. Very inspiring too.
Yeah. Thanks.
I had that happen too. A guidance counselor was like, you're not really going to amount to much, and I don't think, Nicole. I'm like, what? I'm like, screw you. I'm going to be the president of the United States, So what's your one most favorite thing about doing the show?
One of the big things that I enjoy about this is I like helping companies. I say this a lot. General companies like mom pop shops or like kind of the brand new startups don't have the advertising budget of like Coke, Pepsi, these big multi-billion-dollar companies, but they deserve the same chances to get seen. So I wanted to build a place where people can come and interact with these businesses. So I have a couple of businesses on here that are very successful, and they come in, they have a lot of money, but they have the same chances to come on as someone who just started or a brand new company. They can come in and share what they do with everyone. Like, there's no reason they can't, and I think my audience likes that because everyone can get shown That's why I don't charge people to come on the show. I want everyone to be able to come on the show, talk about what they do and what they love.
Yeah.
And that's probably the one thing I like the most is helping businesses grow like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
I love it. That's great. And it's so true, you know, the brand awareness, like you said, with Coke and Pepsi,
Yeah.
they have people trained. You just see a little logo and you know, like you say French fries, what do you think of? McDonald's, right? Yeah.
All those places, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like, so I think you're absolutely right. Like small business owners really, that's awesome. You know, they do. They deserve that chance to get their name out there. And
Yeah.
wow, I talk to a lot of small business owners. They work so hard too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's great. I love that you do that.
Yeah. It's my favorite part of this, you know, helping them. As I grow, I still keep a lot of my services are free to help people grow, and you know, it's not the best financial plan, but you know, I'm helping them grow, and because I think across the board, I want to make New Hampshire just a great place to live, and then that rubs off on places around New Hampshire too. But New Hampshire is important to me because I grew up here, and I'm kind of biased in that.
Yeah.
And I just want it to be good, and helping the businesses is important because that also helps pull people out of poverty when the businesses are successful.
Yeah.
So if I can help more businesses, it'll have an impact on money levels as well. Hopefully, that's kind of the plan.
Yeah, that makes complete
Yeah.
sense.
So
Yeah.
generally, and then hopefully that'll bounce over to help the drug crime rate a little bit, and so I'm trying.
Yeah.
Trying what I can do to help
That's
the economy.
great. Yeah, that's great. Plus, New Hampshire, they get good tax breaks too.
Yeah, yeah. That the no sales tax and the no income taxes are really nice. We got to work on those property taxes, but you know, we'll get there one step at a time. You know?
Yeah. And you said you are a family man. You have 3 kids, one
Yes.
on the way.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yep, I have 3 children. Yeah, they're insane. They're just like me and my wife, who's a ball of fire herself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the 4th one's on the way, and that's gonna be the last one. Finally, I said that 2 children ago. And it's a big family, and it's another reason I want New Hampshire to be a good place to live. You know, I want them to grow up in a place that, you know, I don't have to worry about heroin needles every 5 feet.
Yeah.
You know, or just things like that. I want a good, clean place to live where they can grow up, you know, go through high school, college if they feel like it, and then want to stay in New Hampshire, which is another reason I started the show, is to create a business that people can, like, move into,
Yeah.
like companies and stuff.
Yeah.
Because typically people will age out, so they finish high school or college, then they leave.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's over 50% of people, or close to, will just leave the state.
Makes sense.
Either Boston, New York, especially in my industry, which is like film, tech, all that stuff. LA, whatever, they just gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we could keep that talent here. Like if we had industries that supported that type of thing.
That's true.
Like, there's no reason not to. So that's what I'm working on hard, is to create a business where, you know, and then by helping other businesses keep more people here, help make this a good place to live, just make New Hampshire better.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Adam Sandler's from New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are a lot of other people. I think Sarah Silverman.
Oh, wow.
There's some others, but there's quite a few famous people from New Hampshire.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make New Hampshire great again. No, it's still great.
Yeah,
it's still great, but
let's not make this super political.
I was being silly. There's a lot of, I was talking to someone yesterday. He works out of my office part-time. He's opening up an office in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And he said that it's a great place to do business because a lot of people work in Boston, live in New Hampshire just so they can get tax breaks too.
Yeah.
But I take my son almost every summer. I bring him here. It's always like less than an hour from my house. Great. We'll go to Storyland and
Yeah.
we go to the ice castles.
Yeah. There's a lot of nice stuff here.
Yeah.
You know? Like your ice castles, I don't know a whole bunch else. I know there's actually a resort here in New Hampshire up north a little bit.
Yeah.
I like it. I go up there all the time. But there's like the mountains, and
Yeah.
so there's things to do. We need more things to do, which I think is one thing we're lacking. I know they're trying to push for a casino to do something
Oh,
to bring
wow.
people in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happening with that one, but I think they're working on that type of thing.
Wow.
They're trying to legalize marijuana. There's a whole bunch of things we're trying to do to like compete with things that are working other places.
Oh, okay.
We want New Hampshire to be more competitive across that. So
Yeah.
yeah, we just need more attractions,
Yeah.
more things with more stuff to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides hiking.
The casino would be huge. Yeah, Massachusetts just put a casino in, and they just legalized marijuana too.
Yeah.
So I was excited to see how that pans out.
Yeah. I mean, as far as taxes go, I mean, Massachusetts has that down packed.
Yes,
So
they do.
I'm sure they'll figure out how to make money on marijuana.
Oh yeah, that's a huge industry. Colorado is grossing unbelievable amounts of money from marijuana sales.
Yeah.
It's like in the multi-millions.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. 'Cause that was my thing. I'm like, hey, I personally don't like taxes all that much. And I think we shouldn't really have to pay too many of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you tax marijuana sales and reduce the damn property taxes, you know, you could really help New Hampshire economy. I mean, it's already hard to find houses to move into in New Hampshire. You do that, there's going to be nothing for sale.
Oh, why is that? There's less properties?
No. Well, there's less properties for sale. And when they go on market, they get sold very, very quickly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. New Hampshire's housing market's on fire right now.
Oh.
For whatever reason. And kind of down the road, this is the second half of my company.
Yes.
I own Pastrana Real Estate Investments, which is not the New Hampshire Business Show, but it's like a real estate investing company.
Yeah.
And our goal is I want to get to a point where I can make more starter type homes. So
Yeah.
within like the 100 to low 200, because that's very hard to find. And I'm like, with more houses and more property, people can actually move to New Hampshire and stay, and new families can join here. So that's kind of like a joint problem, where property taxes make it hard to build the houses people need to move here or stay. So we're like, well, this is kind of fun. Like, where do we go with this problem?
Yeah.
So
I see that.
I've been looking at it from a very big perspective.
That's cool. So tell me more about your real estate investing company.
Yeah, I guess on the side. Yeah, I own a bunch of properties down in North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
So, because I was stationed on Fort Bragg.
Oh.
So I just kind of bought some stuff when I was down there, and it can be tricky from a distance, but it's good to like have the extra money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
That lets me kind of ease off my services for the show.
Yeah.
Just because I still have money coming in, so I can support myself.
Yeah.
And I can still benefit businesses by letting them come on the show for free and stuff. And
Wow.
if I was in a different situation, it probably wouldn't be as easy.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. But I worked everything, and it just kind of worked out into a way that I can do this the way I want to, and I do my best to help people. And as soon as I can get some sponsors to help ease it up a little bit, I can do even more to
nudge,
help.
nudge.
Yeah, I can do even more to expand and grow and make people see the show and stuff like that. So
Oh, terrific.
yeah.
So,
It's fun being the one doing the interviewing, huh?
just trying to think what else. I mean, there's probably hundreds of questions I could ask you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color? No.
Black and red.
Black and
I'm
red.
literally wearing those colors right now.
It's a good combo.
Yeah.
I'm more of a pink person
Oh, really?
myself.
You're kind of wearing pink, yeah.
So, how long did you plan on doing this for the rest of your life, or what are your plans with the show?
Generally speaking, I do want to do this until I foreseeably cannot.
Yeah.
It is kind of what I've planned for the future. Now, I do want to bring on other hosts eventually. The company needs to grow a little bit before I can do that.
Yeah.
But I want, a couple hosts, ease my schedule a little bit. I'm still trying to push to about 7 a week, but then with other hosts, they can do other different types of shows.
Yeah.
Because I also want to do on-site shows. So
cool.
Bring a crew set up at someone's business and do a very similar type format just on-site.
Yeah.
But
sounds
again,
cool.
to do that, I need a crew, and because that's how I started this. I stopped doing it because it's super annoying to haul the equipment to places.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and when you have like 3 cameras on each setup, those things get heavy, and then you have all the equipment, and it's a pain to do.
Yeah.
So eventually, I will get back to a point where I can do that.
Yeah.
But we're trying to grow to about 7 a week. So if anyone wants to come on the show, let me know. 'Cause I seriously need more guests than I get. I reach out to tons, and I can do 3 or 4 a week typically, but I want
good.
like 7.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get them all stacked on to one day. So like, say it's a Monday, just for example.
Right.
Be like Monday, 7 interviews. I release them throughout the week. That's kind of my long-standing goal Yeah.
That makes sense, though. I don't see why anyone would not want to come on the show. I mean, you're promoting yourself, your passions, your business, what you're about, and it's free.
Yeah. Free. Sometimes I don't know if the free thing's hurting me, because some businesses, this is my mom and pop shops and like the lower startups and stuff like that, I never have an issue getting them on the show. It's easy.
Yeah.
But as I start ticking up the list to how much they're worth and how much of a chain I have to go through to get to somebody in like management, they become less and less likely to come on the show. So if I walked up to Planet Fitness, who their headquarters out in New Hampshire,
Yeah.
'cause that's where they started, is here.
Oh, I didn't know
Like,
that.
yeah, I think it's Portsmouth or Hampton, like kind of that area is
Yeah.
where their world headquarters is,
Ah.
because they started here, and like I probably would never be able to get the owner of Planet Fitness on my show, at least not at the level I'm at now.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of a fun little, like, I have to get to a level where people can come to me and see the value there, and it's
Yeah.
easy on the beginning level, but the higher up I go, the less likely they are to come visit me.
Yeah. Well, you will. You just keep grinding. You will.
Oh, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Especially with I keep saying the new studio. It's we're still working out a schedule, or if we want to do it or not. But the other studio is considerably more expensive.
Yeah.
So it kind of has that level of professionalism that makes it a little easier to get higher up clients.
Yeah.
But I also like my office and my little setup, and
Yeah.
it's fun. It's mine.
It's comfy.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to Tony Robbins a lot,
Okay, yeah.
and he says something similar to the fact where he's got a good friend, and his friend runs hotels, and he has like the most luxurious hotels in like Las Vegas, and he charges people ridiculous amounts of money, but people pay it because people think, well, if it's that much money, it must be amazing. Like, I'm getting the best service ever. Whereas if someone's like, I'll charge you 75% less, I got the same amenities, come on in. Like, people won't stray towards that because
Yeah.
there's some kind of psychological thing about paying more money and getting better things, but in reality, sometimes it's not like that.
Yeah. And that's, again, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that a lot, especially as you start getting into high-end products.
Yes.
Like, they're expensive because they're expensive.
Yeah.
Type deals.
Yes.
Then on the flip side, it's like, well, the beginning companies, if I started charging, would be like, maybe I don't want to go on the show. So it's like, what do I want to do? It's fun, though. It's a fun little problem I've been playing through and working out and making happen. So, and it's also, I do them in person, which a lot of podcasts don't do.
Oh.
A lot of them are done like over Skype or over something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. When you get in person, there's a level of personability, I guess. There's a connection there that you don't get from a computer.
Yeah, that's true.
So the interviews are better. They make more sense. They sound better. They feel better.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you're kind of like, you're all excited. You're like, yeah, that was so much fun. I had a great time.
Yeah.
And, there's more emotion to it, and
Definitely.
it's just better across the board. And a lot of people don't want to take the time to. I've actually had companies turn me down. They're like, I can't take the hour to come over and be on your show. I'm like, we do it after you close. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
Find a time to come on the show.
Yeah.
So, little issues I run into here and there.
Yeah. I run into those same problems.
Yeah.
I mean, if something's that important to someone, then I don't think driving an hour is going to kill them to promote themselves and get themselves out there and meet a wonderful person like you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we've talked about your favorite things, some challenges, which all of us people face. So what would be like your ideal, what's your ideal goal? You want to have at least 7 people a week? You want to have a nicer studio? Do you want to eventually be like a Jay Leno or
No.
Howard Stern?
I mean, very, very successful. I can't say no because they're super successful.
Yes.
Not my style,
Yeah.
typically. Do you know Entrepreneur on Fire by chance?
No.
So there's a couple of podcasts that I kind of very loosely structured this around, and I guess an idea.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur on Fire is the newest one I found. He does 7 interviews a week, very similar to what I'm trying to do. You know, does them all in one day, plays them out through the entire week, and he makes $200,000 a month. Like, that's
Wow.
not a bad place to be. And I
Nope.
could do a lot to help the economy with that type of production.
Yes.
Correct? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting to that area, because then I could really focus on real estate as well.
Yeah.
There's an individual named Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
His podcast
Joe
is
Rogan.
very similar to this as well.
Yeah.
That's I want to go to that point. His interviews are 3 hours long, which I would love if people would actually sit down and talk to me for 3 hours.
Wow.
But that's like daily, 3 hours, and you just sit there and you talk.
Wow.
And I love that type of thing as well, because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And there's an individual named Dave Rubin. His is more politics,
Yeah.
but it's a very nice setup. It's where I do the face-to-face instead of cantered like most people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they'll put the cameras kind of set up on one side like this, and then the two hosts will be there kind
Right.
of cantered towards the camera.
Right.
So it's a very, to me, it just feels odd because you don't have that directly face-to-face
Yeah.
approach.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So little things from each place, and
That's cool.
I kind of build my own style, but very similar to Joe Rogan is kind of where I pulled most of this. I would love that. A few $100,000 a month, you know, sitting down, talking to people and helping businesses like I do is kind of where I want to be.
Yeah.
We also do a little bit of advertising as far as, you know, we sell some marketing products and stuff like that, and I want to grow that part of the business so that people can actually work for the company,
Yeah.
and like I can help pay the salaries, and you know, the sales crew will do their thing and have a more legitimate company that can help the community a little bit more. It's kind of goals.
That's great.
So yeah.
I love it. I love your vision.
Yeah.
How do you find people to get on your show?
Oh, a lot of word of mouth. So a lot of me talking to a guest like you and me right now, and we did for our interview,
Yeah.
and them going out and being like, "Oh, that was awesome! I know these people," and they hand
Yeah.
a bunch of people off to me, and I go to every networking event I can go to because I have a different approach when I go to networking events. I don't like talking to every single person there. I find it a waste of my time.
Really?
I'll find like 1 or 2 people who I'm interested in, and I'll build like a little bit of a relationship there, and then I'll invite them onto the show, and we'll continue from there. Very similar to what I did with you when I went to the Friends of Kevin event.
Yeah.
I spoke with another individual, I think it was Mark.
Mark, yeah.
Yeah. And we spoke for a good like 10, 15, 20 minutes about all this stuff, and then I kind of pulled you aside after you were done speaking, and did the same thing, and that was it. Like, I emailed everyone else to kind of like get to know them as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I sit down and I have a couple of really good conversations, and that always supplies me with some really good, you know, interviews, and then follow on to some follow-up stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I did a Facebook Live on a group before I came in, and I told them I was going on your show.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
they all know who you are now. And
That's fantastic.
I said he seems like he really is about building people up, and I'm sure he would have no objection to any of you guys coming on the show. They're all women small business owners
I love that.
with their own businesses.
It's actually one of my biggest demographics.
Wow.
Especially for my guests.
Yeah.
Like, guests on the show is traditionally 30s and 40s women, generally is what I get.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that pretty interesting. A lot of them, you know, they were working in typical jobs. They get sick and tired of it, and then kind of like branch off into starting their own businesses.
Yep.
Or they're kind of like on the wall there.
Yep.
It's kind of like what I get a lot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
blowing up right now.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it, I don't know if men are like this, but we all like, we have our like little groups online. We all chat with each other, and we support each other. We lean on each other, and it's just amazing. And it's all online. There's just couple of different groups that I go to in Mass, and it's amazing how supportive it is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we all help each other. We talk through things.
Yeah.
It's great.
I get that a little bit, but typically in the groups that I've formed with other women. Because there are a few that I'm in that are very helpful and compatible like that.
Yeah.
But it's like primarily women.
Yeah.
So I don't know many male groups that are like that without like a lot of fights and like, I make more money than you, and I'm like, whatever.
Oh, that's annoying. I wouldn't like that.
That whole fight contest that constantly goes on.
Yeah. That sounds annoying.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So we're rolling up on about half hour here, and I know you have to get going. So, thank you so much for interviewing me.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to follow me more, I mean, you should know how to get a hold of me, but NewHampshireBusinessShow.com, and you can literally get a hold of any of my stuff from there. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so until next time, talk to you guys later.